The principal said my son's panic attacks were attention-seeking behavior. Principal Garrison called me at work on a Thursday afternoon. Mrs. Thornton, your son had another episode today. Third one this month. I need you to understand that we can't keep disrupting class for his dramatics. Other students are trying to learn. My hands tightened around the phone. Dramatics? My son was hyperventilating in the bathroom. His teacher found him on the floor. Garrison's voice turned cold, which is exactly what someone seeking attention would do. Choose a public location, make a scene. I've been in education for 23 years. I know manipulation when I see it. Your son needs discipline, not coddling. I left work immediately and drove to Riverside Middle School. Found my 12-year-old son Liam sitting in the nurse's office, his shirt soaked with sweat, his hands still trembling. The school nurse, a woman named Valerie, looked worried. He couldn't breathe properly. His heart rate was over 140. This wasn't fake. I pulled Liam into my arms and felt his whole body shaking. His face was pale and his eyes were red from crying. This was the third time in 2 weeks he'd called me from school, terrified and unable to calm down. I took Liam to his pediatrician the next morning. Dr. Foster ran tests, asked detailed questions about his symptoms, and reviewed the patterns I'd documented. These are classic panic attacks. The hyperventilation, rapid heartbeat, feeling of impending doom, physical trembling. Your son has an anxiety disorder that needs treatment. She wrote a referral to a child psychologist and prescribed short-term anti-anxiety medication. Schools are legally required to accommodate diagnosed mental health conditions under Section 504. Get him evaluated and document everything. I thanked her and scheduled the psychology appointment for the following week. When I called the school to explain the diagnosis and request accommodations, Garrison's secretary said he was in meetings all day. I sent an email with the doctor's note attached, explaining that Liam had a diagnosed medical condition requiring support, not punishment. Garrison replied 2 hours later. One doctor's opinion doesn't change my assessment. Your son is manipulating you and his teachers. He needs behavioral consequences, not medical excuses. If these disruptions continue, we'll need to discuss alternative placement. The threat was clear. Stop seeking help for my son, or they'd try to remove him from school. I printed the email and added it to my growing documentation folder. The psychologist, Dr. Nina Alvarez, spent 3 hours evaluating Liam the following week. She used standardized tests, interviewed him extensively, and reviewed the incidents from school. Her report was 14 pages long. Liam met full diagnostic criteria for generalized anxiety disorder and panic disorder. His attacks were involuntary physiological responses triggered by stress, not behavioral choices. The report recommended immediate accommodations, including access to a quiet space during attacks, permission to leave class when needed, and regular check-ins with the school counselor. Dr. Alvarez called me after sending the report. I've worked with anxious kids for 15 years. Your son's symptoms are severe and getting worse. The school's refusal to help is making things worse. He's developing school avoidance because he's being punished for having a medical condition. I thanked her and immediately sent the full psychological evaluation to Principal Garrison with a formal request for a 504 meeting. Garrison scheduled the meeting for 3 weeks later. 3 weeks of Liam going to school terrified, having panic attacks, and being sent to the office as punishment. I documented every incident. On Monday, Liam had an attack during math class. His teacher, Mr. Booth, told him to stop making noise and sent him to the hallway. Liam sat in the hall hyperventilating for 20 minutes before another teacher found him and brought him to the nurse. On Wednesday, Liam tried to excuse himself when he felt an attack starting. Mr. Booth refused to let him leave, saying he was just trying to avoid a test. Liam had a full panic attack at his desk, crying and struggling to breathe while his classmates stared. Mr. Booth sent him to Principal Garrison's office. Garrison called it disruptive behavior and gave Liam detention. On Friday, Liam begged me to let him stay home. They think I'm faking, Mom. Mr. Booth told everyone I'm just trying to get attention. Now the other kids make fun of me. I made him go anyway because missing school would only give Garrison ammunition to claim Liam was avoiding consequences. The 504 meeting finally happened on a Monday morning. I arrived with Dr. Alvarez's report, Dr. Foster's medical records, and my documentation of every incident. Garrison sat at the head of the conference table with Mr. Booth, the school counselor Karen Steele, and the district's 504 coordinator, a woman named Joyce Landry. I presented the medical documentation first. Garrison barely glanced at it. Then he said, "Full story is linked below or on my channel."